hope you've got your snacks, your coffee, your tea, your libations, whatever it is that makes you feel good and that you're comfy and cozy, as I welcome you to the very first episode of First Impressions, which is a video podcast about all things dating, love, relations, whether it's platonic or non-platonic, intimacy, and desirability from a radical Black queer lens. And I am Morgan. I'm a DMV-based multidisciplinary artist, and I'm so excited to have you here. So First Impressions consists of two different types of episodes. You've got Chemistry Test, which is basically a blind date with two DMV-based Black queer individuals who presumably, don't know each other. And I'm there to ask them questions to determine whether or not they like to know each other further. And then the second type is called the Conversation Pit, where I'm having introspective conversations with Black queer folks about dating, relationships, things of that nature, because everything is interconnected, especially from a social political standpoint. And now that we've gotten through housekeeping, today's very first episode is a chemistry test, which means you're about to go third wheeling with me with these two wonderful Black queer folks. So first we have Zshekinah. They are 27 years old. They're originally from New Haven, Connecticut, but they've been in the DMV area / Baltimore for about 10 years, and they currently reside in Baltimore. They are a children's librarian, so they love books, reading, working with kids. They love to cook, roller skate, dance, video games, podcasts, all that good stuff. And especially, of course, spending time with friends and family. And then we have CJ. They are 28 years old. They currently live in Annapolis, but they grew up in the military, so they've lived in many different places, but have been in the DMV for about 13 years. They work in a wine tasting room. They also love roller skating, video games, trying new food, going to new places, and just moving their body, like doing adventure courses and dancing. So with that being said, let's go on a date. So real quick, because I realized I got a little too excited and didn't mention how this date will go. So both blind daters will answer 6 questions. Then they can ask each other up to 2 questions before deciding if it's a match. So that being said, let's get into the actual date. All right, so when it comes to your weekends, social life, free time, are you someone that is like heavily scoping out like Posh and Eventbrite and things of the nature and like heavily planning things out? Or are you kind of more of a person that is more relaxed in terms of like what they're doing with their time and kind of takes things as they go?
I'm more relaxed in my plans. If there's something specific I want to do, or like there's a specific weekend or event that I want to go to, I will plan for that. But I'm generally like, scrolling on TikTok, I'll see if something comes up. Oh, that's cool for this weekend. But I'm kind of like go with the flow, see what comes around kind of person.
Okay. Yeah, like I have a tab in my a folder in my TikToks. I don't think I ever look at those things. I like to say I'm going to do them
Sometimes.
eventually, but they just kind of go into an abyss.
No, literally. Yeah. I have like 500 tabs or like saved videos in a Japan collection because
Mhm.
one day I'm going. But will I
Okay.
go through all those videos? Probably not.
Okay. All right, so Zshekinah, what about you?
I would say also relaxed. Probably mostly because sometimes I work on the weekends, but so if I'm off on a Saturday, I usually like to chill. I'll like spend time with people or things like that, but I'm not typically like planning things out to a T. And if I do go to like something, it's usually like planned in advance or yeah, I'll be like, "Oh, I saw this event." My friend will be like, "Oh, we saw this event like a few weeks ago." And I'll be like, "Okay, I'm off that day, like let's go." But I'm always down like for like something spontaneous too, as long as I'm off and stuff. But yeah, I'm not like I do also I have an Instagram tab of like things in the DMV to do and like that I can drive to, and I've done maybe like 3 of the things up
No,
there.
literally.
So, yeah, so it just depends. But yeah.
I'm glad that there's always so much going on, but on the other hand, it's like, oh my God, I don't have time to like
Yeah, I be enjoying my rent. Like, I like to enjoy
Yeah.
the rent that I pay. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What are you looking for in your dating life at this moment? And then also, how would you kind of describe your dating style?
Well, I'm definitely looking to date with intention, and I know I feel like a lot of people throw that around. But for me that means like dating um in pursuit of like a relationship and in a monogamous relationship for me. And I guess that would also answer the dating style, maybe question about like monogamy. And I'm open to casual dating like at first, but I think there comes a point where things have to we have to like decide where we're going with this. I'm not really great with like open-ended or like being in the gray area situationship type thing. So I'm definitely trying to like not do that. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, like definitely having not a lot of ambiguity, especially as things
Mhm.
continue to progress, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, CJ?
I've been single for a few years and like not dating, so I'm been more recently coming back into the dating scene.
Mhm.
I'm not afraid of commitment, so I can like get into a relationship. I'm just looking for like getting to know people, seeing how we mesh and like hanging out and seeing where things go.
Mhm.
So I'm not like full force ready to dive into something. I'm like ready to walk into something, but I love being in a relationship. I've only been in monogamous relationships. So that's definitely where I'm most comfortable at.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What are two things that you heavily value when it comes to your relationships, whether that's maybe like communication or having your separate space to do the things that you love and then kind of coming back together, whatever that looks like.
I think communication is a really big thing for me,
Mhm.
because I've been in different positions where I've been made like more reserved and wanting to be honest like with my communication. I can be intimidated when like I feel like I'm not going to be received well. So I think just like having a partner with an open mind who's like compassionate and is more like in control of their emotions, not like real hot-headed, that's really important for me, just to be able to have a conversation or a disagreement or an argument where we can calmly talk to each other.
Mhm.
That's really important to me. And then also community quality time, like spending time together because a physical touch. I like to like snuggle up to a person. It's not like I'm not full force, but let's snuggle up. Maybe let's hold some hands. I like hugs, like so quality time and physical touch are important to me as well.
I would say those both are important as well to me. And I guess to piggyback on the communication, I would add like transparency for
Mhm.
me. I think um because I've been in situations before or relationships before where like lying was like an issue, like for me, like like being transparent about whether intentions or being being and I guess I don't yeah, I'm trying to think the best way to explain it, but, like, transparency and in the communication, like, not withholding information, and things like that. I that's, like, one of my, I need that, like, in a relationship, and it's not like, "Oh, you have to tell me every single thing that's
Mhm.
going on in your life," but, like, if it pertains to both of us and it's, like, going to impact me as well, like, I'm very, like that's something I really need. So, and then also I would say, hmm, I should have been thinking as you were talking, but I was listening. Um, I think, hmm, biggest thing. Um, I think just like empathy is a big part as well. I think, um, there has to be an element of that. I think in any relationship, of course, but I think we have to be able to understand like where the other person is coming from and like you mentioned like with the communication, like being able to talk through if there's like conflicts and stuff, being able to talk through that. And I think the best way through that is empathy because if you can understand what the person is coming from, I think we can come to an understanding or a resolution or things like that.
On that like note of talking things out, like within disagreements, are you someone? So I know there's some people like when they are having a disagreement, they like to have time to think away from their partner and then come back, say maybe even a day later. to have that conversation, or are you someone where it's like right in the moment, I would like to talk this out?
For me, I think it depends. Like I'm a very direct person, so if I have something to say, I definitely will say it. However, if I feel like I'm getting upset or emotional, mostly upset, like in a way that I feel the conversation will not go in a positive way, then I will take a step back and say, "Can we revisit this,
Mhm.
whether tomorrow or another day?" I try not in like, I think letting it linger for a day sometimes might be too much, or more than a day, I mean. But yes, if I feel like I cannot contain my, like, emotions in that moment, I will ask for, like, space away and then come back to the conversation with a, clearer head on that. So, yeah.
Right. When it comes to gender roles, as queer people, I feel like, a lot of times they end up kind of taking space in dynamics, whether we'd like to or not. And so, when it comes to those things, like, have you noticed that within your own experiences? And then how do you navigate within those things as well? Like, what does that look like to you? Or at all? Or not at all, rather?
I show like one of my ways of showing love is acts of service. And
Hmm.
I feel like in doing those acts of service, it can take on more of that like masculine role.
Hmm.
I'll be taking the trash out, but I'll also be cleaning up and opening the door and pumping the gas and like doing all those things. I think for me, the important part is like rep- oh my god, I can't.
Reciprocity?
Reciprocity?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. But being able to, like, not feel like I'm the only one who's doing all the things, but
Mhm.
also feeling like I'm being taken care of too, like, my partner is also being intuitive and picking up on the things that I need, and not just seeing me as a dude in a skirt.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not here to just be a stand-in boyfriend.
Mhm.
So I think as long as there's like equal give and take, that's what makes me comfortable.
Yeah, I agree with the reciprocity, of course. For me, I think I show up similarly to you, like, with, like, the acts of service, like, doing things, and I think also that comes from just, I'm pretty independent, like, when I said I've been in the DMV for 10 years, because I moved here for school, and so I've essentially been on my own since I was 17, like, doing my thing, and so I think I think that that has just being independent, I think can come off maybe more masculine. I think just, the patriarchy society and stuff like that. But I don't really feed into, I personally think it's important in queer relationships not to feed into that, like, binary and like those patriarchal structures, because, like, I feel like it's kind of the opposite of like what queerness means and allowing people to like be who they are. And like when it comes to like housework or whatever, I think it's just wherever people's strengths are is where it should do. Like some people really hate doing the dishes. I don't mind it. I like the zen mindfulness of it. Sometimes also use a dishwasher. So like it just depends. Like taking the trash out, not my favorite because I don't like rats, but like, so it's like I think wherever the strengths are is good, but yeah, I think, but I do also appreciate in relationships when there's room to have that softness that may be viewed as more feminine, and then even the more like independent or like masculine stuff as well. So I'm definitely somewhere like in between, I guess. So yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because like to that note, I was gonna ask as well with the both of you how you feel about gender roles overall. But it seems like with both of you, kind of understanding. I mean, one, I'll say at least for myself, I agree in terms of like that queerness in a way like should be the idea of not taking aspects of heteronormativity into our dynamics. But it seems like that's something that you both agree upon, or correct me if I'm wrong.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What are a few core values or principles that really kind of like anchor your life, whether that's like professionally, personally, spiritually, etc.?
A big one is integrity for me in the workplace and in personal life. I think it's important for or at least, yeah, I strive to make sure that I'm that my integrity shines through and that I'm making decisions that align with my integrity, whether that's speaking out on something or addressing issues and stuff. So I just feel like it's important to like have integrity because if you don't stand for anything, you fall for everything. So, that's a big one for me. Um some other core values. I think kindness is a big one as well. I think a lot of people can say that they're nice, but I've often found that nice people are actually pretty mean. And so I think that there's a difference between kindness and niceness, and kindness is just something that um I value in other people and in myself. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I do try to make sure that I'm acting with kindness first. Like now, some people may get me there, got a different point, but I often definitely try to move through my life with kindness and just respect for other people. And I guess that's another one, respect, like just baseline level of respect is a big one for me because I think even if like you people can have differences and stuff, but I think that there has to be like a level of respect. And I mean differences as in like not like extreme political differences. I just mean like regular ones. And I think that's all I can think of for now. But yeah, of core values. There's probably more, but yeah.
No, and honestly, I just want to steal yours because they were so good. Like kindness and like empathy are really big for me because for me, like if you can't put yourself in someone else's shoes, if you can't even think to try and see something from a different perspective, that show like you may be more self-centered than I'm comfortable with. Like if you can't think about how your actions are going to affect other people or even just the experiences of other populations of people and the things that they may be going through, whether or not you experience them yourself. Like, I think that kind of humanness of just experience or just understanding that like human experience is very, very layered. And there's a lot of things that can go into a person's actions. And I don't think that should be excusing bad actions. That's not what I'm saying. But I think just being able to understand a person can put you a long way, and especially in like accepting everybody as people. And that's really big for me is just like understanding that we're just people and it's all of our first times just trying to make it through this life. Just we're all just trying to do things right, you know? Um that's what I can think of right now.
Kind of, I feel like also kind of too that too is like having a sense of mindfulness,
Mhm.
which I feel like kind of tags into the kindness and to your point, like, yeah, like I care a lot less about being friendly per se. I mean, I think also growing up in the Midwest, you're taught to be very friendly, but being kind, I think, is where it really kind of ties into the core of who you are.
Self-awareness, sorry. That
Yes.
just
No, no,
yeah,
no, go ahead.
that's what I think I was getting at as well. Just a level of self-awareness is like important too.
Yeah.
What are two things that you're looking forward to this year, whether that's like a trip or some goals that you want to kind of knock off your list, whatever it may be?
Immediately, first thing comes to my mind is that my sister and a couple of friends and I were planning on going to Mexico sometime, I think early this summer. So
Okay.
that's exciting. That's what I'm saving up for right now. That's
Where
all.
in Mexico?
We have not decided yet. We
Okay.
still gotta find somewhere, but this trip is gonna make it out the group chat.
Well, I'm gonna speak into existence. I've been writing a book, or I have pieces of book, concepts of
Okay, you're
book.
writing a
Let's
book.
Yes.
You're writing a book.
and so I'm excited to like finish it this year because
Okay.
it's been in my head for a while. I've written some things down, but I haven't really had the opportunity or chance to like lock in. It just feels like life is always happening. So one of the goals for 2026, I'm not big on like resolutions, but I was like my intention is to just be more creative and leaning into my writing and that's probably the biggest one. And then just like spending time with friends and family. I don't have anything like planned yet, but I would say like my friends and I always we always find like something to like do, like whether it's like a little trip or yeah, so just thinking towards the future.
I love that.
Not to like, so you're not revealing too much,
Mhm.
but what, I guess in a general sense,
Mhm,
is your book about?
mhm,
Yeah, so it's a sapphic novel. I guess it would fall into like speculative fiction, and has a little bit of magical realism and not so much yeah, magical realism versus fantasy, and
Mm.
also a little bit of historical fiction as well, if that makes any sense.
okay.
But yeah, I would say that's like the general gist of it, but just know that it's going to be a happy ending because we need more of those, especially
Yeah,
with queer stories. So yeah.
Yes. Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited and looking forward to purchasing your book
Oh,
that will
thank
be
you.
launching soon. If you could go to dinner or get drinks with three people, whether they are celebrities, fictional, content creators, things of that nature, who would you choose and why? And then also, where would you go?
One is definitely Whitney Houston. I got
Okay.
questions for Miss Girl. I got some questions. And I also grew up singing and stuff, so like I would definitely want to sing a few songs of her. Not that I'm on the same level as her, but that'd be fun. Um, Janelle Monáe would be another one. Just her mind, their mind. And I would just want to like pick their brain about stuff.
Mhm.
And then I'm trying to pick another person that's alive so that I don't dead. But um I think Audre Lorde would be another one. I know she's
Mm,
passed on, but I would want to talk to just talk to her. I read Zami last year at the end of the year, and
mhm,
it just kind of changed my perspective on a lot of things about being a Black queer woman in a
mhm.
larger body and things like that. So I think those three, and where we would go, we found a happy hour somewhere. I don't know. That crew seemed like they like to party. So,
Yes.
'cause even Audrey in her book, she was always out at the bars and the clubs.
Mhm.
So I would say, I don't even know. I'm just gonna, I don't know. No, I can't think of a place, but just a happy hour and maybe someone with
Okay.
karaoke and like happy hour at some
Mm,
place. So
mhm,
yeah.
mhm. No, that sounds like a fun time. I feel like they
That
all would mesh
that's a good
together
one.
very well.
Oh, I couldn't think of anything. Yours is definitely better. I just thought of like, like my grandma because she passed on in like
Mm,
2018. So it's been a while since I've seen her. That
mhm.
would be great. I thought about like Quinlan Blackwell. She's a
Oh yeah.
YouTuber.
Yeah.
That just seems like a lot of fun. Like we could have a
Vibe.
lot of fun
Yeah.
together.
Mhm.
And then I don't know, like my sister, because that's bestie. And so I know we could always have a good time. And the four of us, like, we'd run up the town. It would be a time. Where would we go? I don't know. Like when I was in college, I went to school like near Pittsburgh and
Mm,
we would always go down to the Strip and
okay.
or South Side. South Side was so much fun. I haven't been down there and I know it's not the same, but South Side back in like 2016, that'd be a time.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I've only been to Pittsburgh once. I did not enjoy myself, but I'm like, I need to go back. Also, like who I was with, it was not a good group of people to be going to Pittsburgh with.
Yeah, no, it matters who you're with for sure.
So you now have the chance to both ask each other up to two questions, whatever you'd like. Um, I guess, Shekinah, do you want to go first?
Sure. Should I ask them back to back, or is it like I'll ask one, then
We can do back
CJ?
to back. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so one of the questions we kind of talked about communication already, but um I feel like that it's like broad. So for me, like what does good communication look like for you? And what um I guess what modes or or mediums of communication do you like? Like FaceTime, like texting, phone, stuff like that. What would you be comfortable with, and what does communication look like for you?
I like texting. I'm more of like I need to have texted you or like know you a little bit before a FaceTime. But I would most love like in-person conversation. That's where I would be most comfortable. For good communication, I think just being like upfront and honest while being kind, like, because you can be honest and you can be nasty and mean, which I'm not gonna want to talk if you're mean to me. Um, so just being kind and honest and having good intentions, like that's how I like to communicate calmly if possible. I know that emotions happen. I'm not afraid of like being sad, but yeah, those like anger and like hot-headedness, those kind of things. I'm just like, we can take a break. Like you were saying, we can take a break. We can, take some time apart. I think as long as I have reassurance, like, hey, yeah, we are going to talk about this tomorrow or like a set time and stuff, rather than I just need some space and just like waiting forever kind of thing. Um, yeah. My questions were not as deep as any of these. Like one of my questions was like, oh, are you an adventurous eater? Like, do you like trying different stuff and do you like to share food? Or are you like, this is mine, that's yours, or can like share appetizers and stuff?
That's deep because it's important to know. So, I adventurous eater. Yes, I will. I always say I'll try anything once. Like I might not like it, but I'll try it. And especially if I'm like in another country or like even or another restaurant, like exploring a different culture. Like if I go there, I have to try the things, and that's just like how I am. And it's not even like I'm forcing myself. Like if I'm going there, I want to do that. So I'm always down to like try things. And sharing food, I will share, but it's like if someone's like, "Oh, I don't want that," and I offer it, don't later be like, "Oh, can I get your last
Mhm.
bite?" No, no, no,
Okay.
no, no, because it's mine now. Like I gave you the opportunity and you didn't want it, but I'm always down to share. Like restaurants, if like you get this, I get this, and we can
Yes.
have it together. Like I'm always down for that fun time.
I love that.
So yeah. What about you? I guess.
Yeah, I love sharing foods. I'm definitely oh, we're looking at these two things. Okay, we'll order them both. We'll split them. We can do like just a bunch of appetizers for the table and just eat appetizers.
Hmm.
Oh, you want a sip of my drink? Yeah, go ahead. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
What's for both of you, what is the most adventurous, I guess, thing that you've eaten?
Mm,
I think it depends on like what is adventurous.
Yeah.
Like I eat sashimi. I
Hmm.
like oysters, raw oysters.
Hmm.
what
Um,
is-
I've never had like escargot, but I'm willing to try and
Okay.
like frog legs and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I've had escargot. It was not my favorite. I had it on a cruise, so I don't know if it was just how they prepared it, but it was just
Okay.
like butter. It was like soaked in butter, so I was like, oh, this is what people going crazy over. It was like fine, but I tried again because I said try everything once, but I'll do it a second time to be like, let me see if it needs to be prepared differently.
Mhm.
I've had alligator
I've
before
had alligator
at
or
like this.
crocodile.
Yeah, or it was like a New Orleans style restaurant.
Yeah.
I want to say it was alligator. And someone recently told I was actually talking about this recently at work, and someone said I had crickets before, and like
Yeah.
they said that's like the most adventurous. When I was naming things, I was like, I feel like that's the least. But and I was at like Universal Studios, and it was like on the Mummy ride after we got off, and I think one of my siblings bought crickets and we ate them and they taste like sunflower seeds. And I wouldn't particularly eat them again because I don't like things stuck in my teeth, but it wasn't bad. So yeah, I'm always down to like try stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had like I think it was elementary school, like and they had the bugs and the lollipops. It was like I
Oh,
think
I've
at
heard
like
of
I've
a
seen
those. Yeah.
those. Yeah.
Six Flags or something. I think they had them, and I'm like, oh, never. I mean, it was cool
Yeah.
at that time
Once in
being a
a
kid.
lifetime.
Yes.
The like scorpion and lollipop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do a scorpion. I know it's dead, but I think I'd be scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you have both asked your questions and also answered mine, my very last question is, now that you've gotten to both get to know each other a little bit, would you like to get to know each other further?
It's a yes for me. You seem like a fun time, so
Yeah.
be down to get to know you.
I think we'd have a great time together.
Okay. All right. So then what I will do is after this call, I will send the both of you your contact information so you can exchange, numbers, socials, whatever it is you like to do.
Mhm.
But other than that, again, thank you so much for wanting to be on First Impressions and, do something a little bit different. Thank you so much for watching the First Impression podcast. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, as the next episode is with Kai Brown, also known as the Stud Slayer. We talk about all things mask for mask. You can follow me on IG at _MorganELiz, on TikTok at _MorganELiz_, and to follow today's guest, you can go to the description for more info.